Hello, everybody. FAI here, or I here, and welcome back to episode 2, or part 2 of Sunless Skies, and continuing our playthrough of Sunless Skies. We were first officer to Captain Amelia Wentlock as we started the last episode, or when we started, but now we are continuing as captain of the orphan, which we have inherited from Captain Wentlock from her will. Anyway, let us continue the story of where we left off, going from first officer to being captain of the orphan. And yeah, let us continue. So, here we are back in Wolseley Station, where we last left off, and for those of you who didn't see the last episode or need a reminder of Wolseley Station, it is the clamoring central of New Winchester, a place of steam and smut and thundering iron. Here you can find people willing to pay for a skilled captain's service. So last time we repaired the locomotive, we didn't hire any crew, but we could hire more crew, and I think we're going to go ahead and investigate the black box. Investigating the black box. Captain Wentlock left it to you in the hold of the orphan. So, we're not sure what the black box is, but what is the black box? Let's go ahead and investigate it. Investigate the black box. Captain Wentlock left it to you in the hold of the orphan. Her will described it only as the black box. A description you consider to be an unhelpful understatement. It is a casket of black basalt, longer than you are tall, unadorned, with a single small recess that contains a keyhole. The thing must weigh most of a ton. It stands upright in the corner of the hold, where the crew have pushed it out of the way. So, here's our current choices that we see right now. We can consider what to do with it. We can try to remember when Captain Wentlock acquired the box, or examine the box, or we can even sell it as a curiosity. So let's consider what to do with the black box. Captain Wentlock had a specific request. Whether you obey it is up to you. Decisions. The last request of Captain Amelia Wentlock was for the box to be transferred to a specific address in London. Alternatively, you could perhaps find someone willing to purchase it as a curiosity. And if you knew what was inside, you might be able to command a higher price. So, yeah, we're considering what to do with the box. So let's go ahead and try to remember when Captain Wentlock acquired the box. It is the subject of speculation among the crew. Preparations. Captain Wentlock had brought it on board just before your ill-fated expedition to the Blue Kingdom. It was empty then. You know, because you saw the lid and box carried on board separately and assembled in the hold. It's not empty now. It is sealed and even heavier than before. But you left for the Blue Kingdom shortly after the box was delivered and made no stops on the way. So whatever is inside the box now, Captain Wentlock found in the Blue Kingdom. Makes you wonder what's inside, right? Yeah, it does make you wonder. So let's continue. Let's go ahead and I guess examine the box, shall we? And then we could of course, counsel an academic if we want to, but let's go ahead and examine the box. It has the dimensions of a sarcophagus, plundered from the tomb of some forgotten prince of Egypt. Close to us. There are no carvings or inscriptions on it. The joint where the lid meets the body is too thin to admit even a knife blade. There are no holes by which light or air might find their way in. It is impossible to see what's inside without opening it. Even the keyhole has been engineered in such a way to prevent peeking. The recess with the keyhole, though, as far as you can determine, that is no more recent addition to the blocks. The stone has been drilled and chiseled away, closed to create space for a modern lock. So, I'd say we could sell it as a curiosity without saying what's inside. You won't get as much for the box, but you'll at least get it off your hands. You can counsel an academic. He comes highly recommended by several acquaintances. He will give you his refined opinion if you have an unusual trophy in your journeys to share with him, and you of course need an uncanny specimen and affiliation with the academics, or you can find someone who could open it from among your villainous associates. You're aware of the lip-screen crackman who commands an adequate reputation and an affordable fee. Of course, you'll need villainary and some sovereigns for it. You could, of course, pick the lock yourself. It is a complex lock, but you've learned a useful secret or two in your time that might help you open it. So you need, veils, a savage secret, and of course the box unopened. You could detonate the lock with a modest explosion. You'll need to assemble a precise compound of explosives if you are to avoid damaging the contents inside the box. So of course you need mirrors and a box of mutations. Anyway, we're not going to worry about that for now. Perhaps not. Let's continue onward. So we're going to talk to the bazaar. The New Winchester Bazaar. Local captains gather around at the bazaar to trade goods and information. Here you can acquire prospects, opportunities to sell a good distant port for an excellent price. Accept a prosper to claim its source the goods and deliver them. So new prospects will be available every 30 days about. So we got seeds for Magdalene's, which is the prospect that we heard about. Magdalene's provides comfort and symphony for the weary skyfarer, and its host will tell you any lie you need to hear. Some of those lies require flowers, too. The Adamine host wants up to 3 sacks of Verdant seeds, and will pay 80 sovereigns for each. Magdalene's lies west of New Winchester. So that's Prosper we're going to gather. But we also have a Prosper for seeds in Port Avalon. Of course, the seeds that we get from Magdalene's, we will not be selling to Port Avalon. Instead, we'll get another set of seeds for Port Avalon. But we're going to claim the Magdalene's Prosper. And then let's go ahead and read the seeds for Port Avalon. This is one that we're not going to get till later on or finish till later on. But seeds for Port Avalon. Attention! The annual allotment competition looms on Port Avalon. Up to 3 stacks of Verdant seeds required urgently. Delivered to the Vicar Nectar at the Northern in as soon as possible, if not before. So of course, we got that. We did acquire that one as well. So yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't read it all, but anyway, here we are also at Adrahan's engineering, which is where you can buy upgrades for your locomotive. It's a locomotive plating improvements and refreshments and estimated choice. So you got butchers thing, you got mining supplies, you got green upgrades and weapons and stuff that you can get here, sensible plumbing and whatever. But here's the place that we're going to be visiting the most, which is the Victoria Market. Stalls and shops, and hawkers and brokers. You can sell practically anything at the Victoria Market. So we're going to buy some gas here because we'll need the fuel. But you're going to come here most of the time for fuel and supplies. Here we are at Wolseley Engineer Yard, a notorious graveyard for unwanted and unloved or blasted out of the sky engines. Occasionally, there are gems among the scraps, so we can buy new engines and trains here or locomotives. The Prevalal Corsair, which is a highly armored and aggressive engine of the Crown and Misery Yards, able to mount heavy weapons, and she packs more punch than other engines of her size. And that's good if you're going to be a battler or someone who's going to be out exploring a lot with battle intentions. The Prevalal Class Trader, which is a popular mining vessel in the Reach. It can be found lumbering through the rock fields and stuffing its face with items. You got the Bedwell class escort and also the Moultrie class liner. Now we're not going to talk about the Moultrie class liner right now. The escort is good for explorers, so if you have an ambition for the truth, that would probably be your best bet for the truth. If you're looking to be about sky or fame, then if you have the fame ambition, the Pelval class Corsair will probably be good for you. And if you're like me right now and going for the wealth ambition, then the Trader will be good, because it's a popular mining vessel that's stuffing its hold with unrefined hours. So yeah, with that being said, though, there's not much else to talk about here today, at least for this part. So we're going to be going ahead and continuing on our way into the unknown, everybody. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue on our way to the unknown and figure out what is going on forward. So we got the trading opportunity, which we're going to be looking at, and we're trying to find our way to Port Avalon, which is north. and Magdalene's is west. So somewhere up there in the north is where Port Avalon is. But let's go ahead and get on our way. So, of course, we used our bat to get a good idea of where we were going. And our bat found something, which is the two house places where we can turn in our reports. One is Victory Hall and the other is the company house. They're always going to be side by side to each other. This is Victory Hall, as you all see here as we are passing by. And coming up is company house. Now, depending on whose side you are on, whether it be the Tacties or the London Loyalists, will determine the side of battle will determine how the war plays out on this map and in general for the story. So just remember that all of your choices, at least when you're delivering your reports, will determine what side you are on and how the war shapes out. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue. And over here we have a ship going by, and it's a tacky scout. Yeah, it's a tackery scout. I don't know what he's doing. He's just driving around, flying in circles, I guess. I guess he's just flying in circles, you know. So we sent out our bat to try and find something. And we did find Port Avalon. So our scout relays its findings. That's good. Let's go ahead and go forward, everybody. Alright, so we're just moving forward here. Just continuing to drive into the into Port Avalon. So here we go, everybody. And yeah, this is just most of what you're going to be doing and you're going to be seeing as we go forward. And a distant nebula shined on the place, on this place. It's light mellowed as melted butter, March 25th. Today, the sky is cool and blue with skies. Yeah. So we got some talk here on March 25th, and here we are. A new port. It's the crew will relieved to find land, perhaps unwisely. So yeah, we just found Port Avalon and know we're in. So here we are. And we, of course, got a level. So a moment of reflection. So this, of course, will increase our skills and what we have. We can either do a spell in prison, which increases our veils and our hearts, or our veils and our iron will. We can do scarred, or an emerald of red and gold, which will increase our mirrors and our iron will, or our mirrors and our veil. So it's up to you on what side you want. A scandal, which increases our hearts and our veils, or our hearts and our mirrors. Which of course are the key core skills. I'm looking at them just to also see if there are any affiliation increases for us. And then scarred, which increases our iron will and our mirrors, or our iron will and our hearts. But I think we're going to go for a emerald in red and gold. An emerald in red and gold to increase our mirrors and our iron will. An emerald in red and gold. You lost your mind once. They put you in a splendid hotel, managed by cheery gentlemen who would determine when you could leave. How colorful the other guests were. How red the curtains. How gold the fittings. How secure the locks. Eventually, you were allowed to leave. But was your recovery genuine? You could either say yes, you're feeling much better, thank you. Or no, you just learned to lie. So I think we're going to learn, yes, we were feeling much better. Through trial and error and determination, you learned to tell what is what and what is not. The manager said he was sad to see you leave, or to see you go. And that increases our iron and our mirrors. Or you could just increase your veils. It's up to you. But I think we're going to increase our iron and our mirrors, because those are going to be some important stats, at least currently for us, with skill checks and all. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I was, probably reading it here, but just to give myself time, but I read it for you guys right off the bat. So, there you go. We got our mirrors up to 30 now. We have our iron wheel up to 13 and our veils up to 17. And, yeah, we're going to go ahead and port into Port Prosper here, or, get into port here. So, yeah. And I know a lot of this is just reading, but anyway. Arriving at Port Avalon, behold, a ruin of giants. Gargantuan blocks, jigsawed together, fuzzed with moss, and whispering with orchards. A botanic village nestles amongst them. Smoke coils daintily from the chimneys. A leisurely game of cricket unfolds on the village. We can disembark. A ramshackled dock jolts into the sky beside a farmyard scattered with rusty locomotive parts, plating and piping, chugging a chugging motor with its inwards exposed. So yeah, let's go ahead and I guess disembark onto the into the port. An oily-faced, black-haired girl waves your locomotive into position. Welcome to Port Avalon, she calls. As you disembark, a rich knot of scent greets your leaves, and wood smoke, enriched by infrequent but pungent irritation of coat. So, our Port Avalon welcome is now free, but the longer we stay in Port Avalon, the more our welcome will run out. So, we'll probably not want to stick around in Port Avalon for too long, but, at the moment, our Port Avalon welcome is at free. So, that's good to know. Let's continue. So Port Avalon spills particularly across the incursions across the colossal drifting ruins. Its orchards bask in the evening gold light of a distant nebula. So let's go ahead and write the port report. The locals are willing to update you on the news, but there's not much to share. So let's go ahead and write a port report now. We could share exotic gossip with the locals or host a tea party, but we're going to just write the port report. Were not for the talk of smugglers and sky beasts, you could easily confuse this place for a village on the world you left behind. It's quite peaceful here, apart from some fuss over a newspaper delivery. The villagers frown on and change the subject when you ask about it. So, well, we can earn rewards or money by sending it to Company House or Victory Hall. It's up to you, but we're going to continue onward. Alright, so we can either share exotic gossip with the locals here, or we can host a tea party aboard your locomotive. It's up to you. We can either give them a taste of London, or just give them some gossip. Each one helps with our welcome and keeps our welcome up high. Anyway, the Green Village. A golden nebula scatters across Port Avalon. Apple trees, all allotments, eel fishers, and steepled church. Here you may, if you choose, immerse yourself in the village's quaint rhythms. So we got the Aurora Summer, or the Green Village. The heart of Green Village is surrounded by orchards of real apple trees that were shipped through the Avon horizon as seeds. Or we could go to Avon someone grabbed it by brass wheels up to the canvas of an old armory, and implemented its top with a jaunty damasked umbrella. So let's go ahead and talk about the Aurora Summer. The Aurora Summer. Someone has grafted brass wheels to caress an old armory and impaled its top with a jaunty damasked umbrella. A man stands behind it, flesh and finery, the colors of dawn, shepherding customers through their samplings of wine. Sweet wines, sour wines, subtle wines, sinful and sinful, spirits of every vintage, save, of course, the Habersian cider. He gives a small, sad laugh. I know, because I looked. This is the only place with real apples, but even here, that cider eludes me. He beckons you with a gloved hand. Ask him about the Habersian cider, a rare vintage, unheard of and unseen since London. This merits investigation. So, yeah, let's talk to him about that cider, about the Habersian cider, shall we? So, let's see. Closer, come listen. Come here, come closer, and listen, you, illiterate ding. I have a story. An associate of mine, he once gave me a sip of it, one golden drop, to place under my tongue, and my life was changed. A carnivorous pleasure steeps in his voice as he speaks. I want I went back to the store immediately, of course, but the price was too much. And then eventually the dream drained away, and now I'm here, serving wine to the drunks. His laughter is black and bitter, but the Aurora Smolderer gives you the address, nonetheless, just in case. If you decide to risk the same grief, savor it for me. Ah, yes. So now we have a little quest for the searching for the Hypersian cider. And, yeah. That'll be a quest that we will be continuing onward. Anyway, continuing onwards. So, here we are in the village green again, the heart of the village. So we're going to talk to Nowhere. This is the Nowhere Inn. Both of the same stage, a tour of heaven describes Port Avalon's single public house as a welcome respite, justly famed for its authentic Old Earth cider. The locals can be welcoming for a while. You may be able to recruit more crews here. Of course, we're not going to stick around for too long. Here we are at the Cyclone Ruins. What place was this? What giant king made his home here? And why did he abandon the vast stores of souls that the locals still quarry from beneath the stones? Perhaps you might risk a fugitive extraction of your own. So if you're looking for the fame, that could be a good story that you'll be looking for here. Anyway, here's the bazaar. Locomotive captains scatter around the bazaar to trade goods, information, and you may find bargains here to fulfill your projects next. So that's where we can get our seeds for magnetines. Of course, here's the Summer Sons, which is just the store that we normally go into if you need fuel or supplies. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue to head on. Now, at this point, I'm going to be searching a little bit for the Trader's Woods, as the Trader's Woods trigger is somewhere around here. So you'll see me travel around a little bit around here just to try and find the Trader Wood entrance. And I mean, obviously I do find it. Anyway, a stopped clock. The facetious inspector approaches you in the galley. Captain, good day. I noticed your ship's clock has stopped. Perhaps you'd permit me to repair it? She has a little case of tools and a hopeful expression, so we can permit it. You prefer things to be right more than twice a day, or you could decline. You pay engineers to deal with that sort of thing. We're going to probably permit the inspector to do her work and her job on the ship, because why not? We want our clock to be working. An opportunity for conversation. She gives a grateful flicker of a smile and sets to work. Soon she has the back off the clock and spread tiny cogs across the galley table. Obscure horological tools gleam brasslessly among them. Everything has a place. I appreciate the opportunity to get myself busy. She's staring too long at the stars can be harmful for the temperament. Ah, yes, of course. So let's go ahead and continue. The facetious inspector has a round face, brown eyes, and short, dark hair. She gives an expression of being perpetually busy. So I do apologize that I'm looking back at this, but when I was doing this, I got a little distracted and I didn't read when I pressed that. So yeah. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and continue. We're looking at our officers here because I was pressing the wrong button, but that's okay. Anyway, I read what we want. So we can inquire about our work, or we can discuss about the reach, which are the two options that we currently see on the board. We can also compliment her skills, but for now, I think we're going to go ahead and inquire about her work, because let's learn a little more about our inspector here. So let's inquire about her work. What are the duties of an agent of the horological office? Yeah, let's figure out what that is. Of course, like I said, we could compliment her skills, but for now, I think we're going to go ahead and inquire about her work. So, of course, like I said, I got distracted here when I was recording this, so I didn't get to read it. But it does give you more time to read it if you want to yourself, even though I am reading it to you. Anyway, let's go ahead and inquire about her work here. I think pretty soon I'll be quick in that. Of course, we can also bid her a good evening, but for now, let's give her a little talk. Let's get some conversation going, shall we? A higher calling, she sniffs. It is of fundamental importance that 10 o'clock on the 2nd of June in one corner of the empire occurs at the same time as 10 o'clock on the 2nd of June on the opposite corner. How is an empire to function if we can't agree what day it is? Unfortunately, the process is complicated by the fact that time is less relevant than it was. The hours of trade haven't seen to that. Very interesting. So, overall, that is very interesting as far as her work goes. Anyway, let's go ahead and ask her for news about London, shall we? The seat of the empire lies in the far off of Avalon, where a man-made sun burns in the sky. Another sun blazed there once, before her renewed majesty conquered it. So let's go ahead and ask her about news from London, or of London. And yeah, let's see what news of London she has on her, shall we? So yeah, homesickness. London sits in her coat of smog. Counterers acquired at the foot of the throne of ours, hoping to receive embodiments of years. Meanwhile, hard-working civil servants labors to ensure everything runs as it should. Was there a touch of arcans there? All is as normal. I miss her though. There is no city like London in all the skies, and Avalon is very different from the Reach, much more civilized. Very interesting. It's very interesting to hear that London is much more civilized, I guess, than Avalon's of the Reach. But let's go ahead and discuss the Reach, shall we, while we're here? Discuss the Reach, the wide, wild frontier, a sunless domain, but importantly verdant, with gargantuan vines, cathedral-sized bronzewoods, and leavened fungal arpachos. So yeah, let's go ahead and discuss the Reach with her. Far from home. It has an undercloth splendor, but I miss Avalon. And the steady light of the clockwork sun. The sunless reaches are so misty and quiet. She pauses, but critical. The territories here are rich with raw hours, and enough vegetation grows on them to feed the whole of London, even if some of it is a W shape. So, yeah. Very interesting to talk about or listen to. Let's also ask about the hours of trade, shall we? You heard the Empress awards her favorites with gifts of years to extend their lives, and that you can become rich mining for hours to satisfy London's hunger for them. The Tangle's time. How? Hours are much more useful. Have much more uses than that. We use them to increase the efficiency of workloads, to speed the journeys to distant regions for resolve overcrowding in prisons. It does not make my life more difficult when the time knots and stretches of war on the loom. More difficult, but more vital. Her Majesty seized a great trove of them when she assumed the throne of ours, and now even more have been found in the Reach. Miners dig from the ground. She looks amontously wistful. I hope someday to retire with a modest pension of years myself, to prolong the better part of my retirement. Yes. So let's go ahead and ask her about the Winchester War. The Reach is torn by discontent between the London loyalists and the more independent settlers. So yeah, let's ask her about the war. There are those who feel that London is a long way, and that they do a better job governing themselves from the frontier attracts independent spirits. We call them Tacates for the hobnail boots that they are so practical out here. London, unsurprisingly, disagrees. The Windward Company earnestly represents Her Majesty's interests in the regions, sometimes very earnestly indeed. The Tactics call London loyalists stovepipes. For our hats, I suppose. She avoids looking at you. And you, Captain, where do your sympathies lie? Do they lie with London, with the Tacties, or you feel no loyalty between either side? You remember your heritage and the queen who led you to the skies. Or, with the Tacties, these are new lines. Why should old ruins, old masters, and hold sway? Or you feel no loyalty to either side. Perhaps you do not. You'd rather be left alone. Perhaps you are undecided. Perhaps the conflict as an opportunity. So I believe our loyalty lies with London. Glad to hear it, she says. Alright, so she's glad to hear that we are with London, at least to a degree. And let's go ahead and compliment her skills. Her hands are deft and sure. She polishes, she cleans, she reassembles. So let's go ahead and compliment her skills. A compliment. Thank you, she says, a small embarrassed silence. So, it's possible the inspector is pleased, but it's rather hard to tell. Alright, so let's bid her good evening. You'd have work to do. Good evening. Parting. And to you, Captain, I think I shall make a cup of tea. Okay. So she's going to make a cup of tea. Great. Let's go ahead and continue onwards. So, onwards. Most of the better part of this is just me looking for the, Trader's Wood, so, you know, you're just gonna see me kind of driving around. And looking for the entrance of the Trader's Wood. Unfortunately, of course, I don't find it this way, so I, of course, turn around and continue on my way to the other side of the area, or kind of just searching around this side. Now, again, I don't know why Trader's Wood activates itself around this area, but it does. So, you know, it does activate itself around this early of an area. So, you know, if you're kind of looking for it yourself, then just kind of search around Port Avalon and kind of look around this whole area until you see the trigger, as the trigger will happen somewhere close to here. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with me just exploring for this area, and then I'll meet you guys back once we found it. But, of course, I don't think we look that much longer till we find it, because it's going to be appearing right about here. And as you can see, it appears right about here. So, now we're going to make our way back to the company house to turn in our report for a little bit of money so we can buy the seeds at Port Avalon. Okay, so yeah, continuing forward, you'll see sometimes those little pockets come up every once in a while talking about the reach and stuff. And I may not read all of them, but I will read the ones that I can from time to time, just to try and help you understand a little bit more of the story. But with that having been said, let's go ahead and continue, shall we? Moving on with, you know, continuing to drive our locomotive back to company house, and yeah, getting to turn in our money for you know, for the money. But I'm gonna leave you with that for now, because it is a little bit of a drive, and yeah, I'll leave you guys with the you know, just the enjoyment of the music and the train ride. Alright, so here we are, back in the next area, or at least back in your company house, and yeah, let us continue. The taste of smog, that sound of iron on iron. We are home, March 25th, 1905. So yeah, here we are, back at the company house, where we're going to dock, get some money, by turning in a report from Port Avalon, and yeah. Company House, the local headquarters of the Windward Company, London's proxy and the reach. Deliver port reports here to receive rewards and win the company's favor. Yeah, we're going to go visit the Windward Company. Following the uprising, the fortress of the Windward Company fell in New Winchester. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and visit the Windward Company. Visit the Windward Company. Following the uprising, the fortunes of the Windward Company fell in New Winchester. Now their modest offices occupy an EX tinning factory in the market recess of town. It continues to smell faintly of beans. So we can deliver our port reports to the Permanent Secretary. The office general manager lives in the perpetual fear of the secretary, who was appointed directly from the London office. Their references were inaugural, or we can chat with the Permanent Secretary. The foyer, besides the stovepipes hat, the Permanent Secretary pushes them narrow and unsmiling, with a blousy shirt and black trousers. So we could also do trade for gossip, or trade for a ministry stamp permit, or trade for the balance of power and stuff. But we're not going to talk about that right now, as we need more favor before we can even talk about doing that stuff. So let's go ahead and just chat with the secretary. An opportunity. The secretary's gender is the subject of some debate in the company's canteen. The secretary prudence, however, is not. Both these facts provide the secretary with a great degree of satisfaction. I would be interested in to receive reports on events in other ports, however small. The company has expansed internals to retrieve them. So, yeah, let's go ahead and trade or deliver our reports for them. Yeah, the office's general manager, we've already read that, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and get our reports for some cold hard cash in a way. Services rendered. It is a comfortable room for a modest secretary. Stained glass windows lay crimson slants across the desk. The permanent secretary receives your reports and reads them one by one. A number of questions follow, to which the secretary expects coherent, succulent answers. Her Majesty is grateful, they say, as you leave. So we've gained some gratitude from the Windward Company, as well as received some sovereignties. And we've gained some fortunes with the stovepipes, who are struggling, and the tacties, who are also struggling. Yeah, but onwards. And, yeah, with that having been said, I think we're going to go ahead and call it today on this video. So, with that having been said, we're going to go ahead and call it here today on this video. So, yeah, thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you liked this video. And if you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification, because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you everybody for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you did enjoy this video. But yeah, with that having been said, I am live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/FA_EYE or I am live on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for sure. Wednesdays and Saturdays are usually about 4 to 5 hour streams, sometimes a little bit longer. Thursdays are usually a 2 to 3 hour stream, and Mondays and Tuesdays I am also currently live for about 2 to 3 hours. But with that having been said, thank you everybody for joining me today. Thank you for watching today's video. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But with that having been said, again, like I said, until the next one, everybody. Thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you for watching, and yeah, until the next one, everybody. This is FAI or I signing out and saying farewell, everyone.